I
I
became
went
a
from
millionaire
rags
by
to
accident,
riches
then lost
and
it
then
all
back
in
to
90
rags
days.
again.
I had $847,000 in my bank account that wasn't mine, and I made the worst decision of my life. I'm staring at my phone at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, and my hands won't stop shaking. The Chase mobile app shows a balance I've refreshed 17 times. $847,329.16. Yesterday, it was $1,243. I'm a 29-year-old substitute teacher. This money isn't mine. But here's the thing, I didn't report it. And what happened next destroyed everything I thought I knew about money, happiness, and who I really was. 3 days earlier, I was eating ramen for the fourth night in a row, checking my account to see if I could afford the $6.99 Netflix charge coming through. My student loans were $43,000 deep. My 2009 Honda Civic had a check engine light that had been on for 8 months. I was exactly the kind of broke where you know the price of everything at the dollar store. My phone buzzes. It's a notification from my bank. Large deposit received. I open it thinking maybe my tax return came through early. The number doesn't make sense. I blink. I close the app. I open it again. Still there. $847,000. My first thought isn't this is a mistake. My first thought is, finally. And that right there, that one thought, that's where everything went wrong. But stick with me because what I did next, nobody saw coming, and I need you to understand why. I Google accidental bank deposit what happens at 3:17 a.m. Every result says the same thing. Report it immediately. It's not your money. You'll face legal consequences. I read about a couple in Pennsylvania who spent money accidentally deposited and went to jail. I convinced myself I'm not stealing. I'm just waiting. I'm going to hold on to it, not touch it, and see what happens. If they ask for it back, I'll give it back. Simple. Safe. Smart, right? Day 1, I don't touch it. I go to work. I teach a rowdy 7th grade class about the water cycle, and the entire time my phone is in my pocket, heavy as a brick. Every time it buzzes, my heart stops. Day 2, still there. I tell myself I'll report it tomorrow. Just one more day to enjoy seeing that balance. To screenshot it. To pretend, just for 48 hours, that I'm not drowning. Day 3, I crack. But not how you think. If you're still watching, smash that like button because this next part changed everything. And I need you to hear what happened when I made my first withdrawal. I take out $200. Just $200. I tell myself it's a loan. I'll pay it back when this gets sorted out. I buy groceries. Real groceries. Fresh strawberries. A good steak. Salmon. I spend $87 at Whole Foods, and I cry in the parking lot because I haven't bought fresh fruit in 6 months. That night, I sleep better than I have in years. And that's the hook. That's the drug. Not the money, the relief. The oxygen. The feeling of not suffocating for one single day. Day 7, the bank hasn't called. No emails. No frozen account. I start researching in earnest. I discover that bank errors can take weeks, sometimes months, to be detected. Large deposits sometimes slip through because they look like legitimate wire transfers. I find out this money came from something called Enterprise Capital Solutions LLC. Sounds corporate, sounds real. I convince myself maybe this wasn't an error. Maybe I was selected for something? A grant? A program for struggling teachers? My brain is doing backflips to justify what I already know is wrong. Week 2. I pay off my credit cards. $8,400 total. I tell myself this is smart. If they take the money back, at least I'll have eliminated this debt. That's rational, right? That's not stealing, that's financial strategy. And the thing is, every financial advice video on YouTube, every podcast, every expert says the same thing. Pay off high-interest debt first. I'm just following the advice. I'm being responsible. My credit score jumps 89 points in 1 week. Week 3. I'm still teaching, but now I'm different. I park my Civic in the far corner of the lot. I've researched a Tesla. Not buying it, just researching. At lunch, another teacher complains about her landlord raising rent, and I almost offer to pay it for her. I stop myself. But that feeling, that power to solve someone's problem with just money, it's intoxicating. Week 4. No contact from the bank. Not a word. I'm checking my email obsessively, my phone, my mailbox. Nothing. I convince myself that maybe, just maybe, this is one of those miracle stories. Maybe Enterprise Capital Solutions was a distant relative's trust fund that I didn't know about. Maybe my dad, who I haven't spoken to in 10 years, left me something. The human brain will create any narrative to justify what it wants to believe. I quit my teaching job. I don't give 2 weeks notice. I just email the principal. I'm done. Personal reasons. Looking back, this was insane. But in the moment, with $838,000 in my account, I'd only spent $9,000. Working for $180 a day felt like volunteering. Felt like a waste of time. Day 31. I buy the Tesla. $67,000. The salesman asks what I do for work, and I say consulting because I saw someone say that in a movie once. I drive off the lot, and for exactly 45 minutes, I feel like I've made it. Like every struggle was worth it. Like I'm finally the person I was supposed to be. Then I get home, park the Tesla in the carport of my studio apartment, and the absurdity hits me. I'm living in a 400-square-foot studio with a car that costs more than I've earned in 3 years. But instead of pumping the brakes, instead of thinking clearly, I double down. Month 2, I move. Luxury apartment. 2 bedrooms, even though I live alone. Floor-to-ceiling windows. $3,400 a month. I buy furniture. Real furniture. A $4,000 couch. A $2,000 mattress. I convince myself these are investments. Quality items that last forever. I'm not being frivolous. I'm being smart with money for the first time in my life. I start dating someone I met on Hinge. Her name is Alexis. She's a pharmaceutical rep, makes good money, drives a nice car. On our 3rd date, I take her to a steakhouse and spend $340 on dinner. She's impressed. She asks what I do, and I've perfected the lie. I recently came into some money. Investment portfolio matured. It sounds sophisticated. It sounds real. She doesn't ask questions. Nobody asks questions when you're spending money. If you're still here, subscribe now because month 3 is where the plot twist happens, the thing I never saw coming, the thing that made me realize I'd become someone I didn't recognize. Month 3, week 1, my bank account is at $763,000. I've spent $84,000 in 2 months. That sounds like a lot, but I'm still pacing myself. I haven't bought a house, haven't invested in crypto, haven't done anything crazy. I tell myself I'm being restrained. Alexis and I are getting serious. She wants to take a trip. I book us 10 days in Santorini, Greece. First-class flights. $18,000 total. She cries when I show her the itinerary. She says nobody's ever done anything like this for her. And I feel like a king. We're in Greece when my phone rings. Unknown number. I ignore it. It calls again. And again. On the 4th call, I answer. Is this Marcus Chin? Yes. This is Catherine Wong from Chase Bank Fraud Department. We need to talk about your account. My stomach drops through the floor of the Santorini Cliffside Hotel. Alexis is in the shower. I'm standing on the balcony watching the sunset, and my entire life is ending in real time. There's been a significant error in your account. Are you aware of a deposit made on February 14th in the amount of $847,329.16? I can't speak. My throat has closed. Sir, I saw it, yes. And you didn't report it? This is where I should come clean. This is where I should apologize, explain, beg for mercy. Instead, I say, I thought it was from my uncle's estate. He passed away last year. The lie comes out so smooth, so natural, I almost believe it myself. Sir, this deposit was the result of a wire routing error from a corporate litigation settlement. The funds were intended for Enterprise Capital Solutions, LLC's operating account. We need full restitution within 72 hours, or we'll be forced to pursue legal action. The word legal hits me like a punch. Alexis comes out of the bathroom in a towel, smiling, asking what's wrong. I can't look at her. How much do I need to return? The full amount plus any accrued interest. $847,329.16. I don't have it all. Silence on the other end. Then, excuse me, I spent some of it. Keep watching because what Catherine says next changes everything I thought I understood about consequences. Mr. Chun, you've spent $84,629 of funds you knew didn't belong to you. That's not a bank error on your part. That's theft. I'm required to report this to our legal team and potentially law enforcement. I'm having a panic attack on a balcony in Greece. Alexis is asking what's happening. I'm doing math in my head. I have $763,000 left. They want $847,000. I'm $84,000 short. Plus whatever this trip cost. Plus the Tesla I can't return. Plus furniture I can't give back. I tell Catherine I'll call her back. She says I have 72 hours. The line goes dead. I tell Alexis everything that night. Every lie. Every dollar. Every decision. I expect her to leave. To call me a criminal. To be disgusted. Instead, she goes quiet for a long time. Then says, "We need to fix this." We fly home the next day. $2,800 to change the tickets. More money I don't have. Back in the US, I make an appointment with a lawyer. He's expensive, $4.50 an hour, but I need help. He listens to my story and says, "You're looking at potential felony theft charges. Best case scenario, you return everything you can, cooperate fully, and hope they don't prosecute. Worst case, you're looking at 5 to 10 years. 10 years in prison. For wanting to not be broke. For wanting one moment of relief. Here's what I do next, and this is critical if you're still watching. I liquidate everything. I sell the Tesla back to a dealership for $51,000. I lose $16,000 immediately. I sell the furniture on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist for maybe 30% of what I paid. I break my apartment lease and lose my deposit plus 2 months' rent. I pull together every dollar I can find. Total recovered, $781,429. I'm still $65,900 short. I call my mom. I haven't asked her for money in 10 years. She has maybe $30,000 in retirement savings. I tell her everything, and I'm sobbing on the phone like I'm 12 years old again. She doesn't yell. She doesn't lecture. She says, "How much do you need?" "I need $66,000, Mom." "I know you don't have it." "I'm so sorry." She's quiet for a moment. Then, "Your father's life insurance." "I never touched it. It's $73,000. I was saving it for, I don't know what. But it's yours. It was always meant for you kids anyway." I'm crying so hard I can't breathe. Alexis is holding me. My mom is draining her security to save me from prison, and I did this to myself. All of it. Every single stupid, selfish decision. Comment below if you've ever made a financial decision you regret, because what happens next is the real plot twist, the one that changed how I see everything. We wire the money to Chase. All $847,329.16, plus an additional $4,000 in interest they calculated. I'm broke again. Worse than broke. I'm negative. I owe my mom $73,000. I have no job, no car, no apartment. I'm back in her basement at 29 years old. But here's the twist. Chase doesn't press charges. Their legal team reviews the case, and Catherine Wong, the fraud investigator, actually advocates for me. She tells them I cooperated fully, returned every penny, and that prosecution would be costly for a case where full restitution was made. They agree to not pursue criminal charges if I sign a document accepting full liability and agreeing to never sue them for emotional distress or any damages related to their error. I sign it in about 4 seconds. I'm not going to prison, but I'm destroyed in every other way. Alexis breaks up with me 3 weeks later. Not because of the money. She actually says she fell in love with the person I was in Greece, and that person doesn't exist. The person she knew was built on lies, and she can't separate the real me from the fantasy. I don't blame her. I'm back substitute teaching 6 weeks later. Same schools. Same kids. Some of the teachers heard I quit suddenly and came back. They assume I had a breakdown. They're not wrong. For 3 months, I'm a zombie. I teach. I go home. I send my mom $500 a month, which barely covers the interest on what I owe her. I see a therapist because I can't sleep. I keep having dreams about bank accounts and police sirens in prison cells. The therapist asks me, "What did you learn?" I hate the question because it feels like a moral from a children's story. But I think about it. Really think about it. And here's what I learned. Keep watching because this is important. Money didn't change me. It revealed me. It showed me I was willing to lie, to steal, to risk everything for comfort. The scary part wasn't the bank error. The scary part was how easily I justified it. How quickly I became someone who could look at stolen money and call it opportunity. I spent $84,000 in 90 days and got nothing but debt, shame, and a semester of substitute teacher memories in Greece that I can't even enjoy because they're soaked in guilt. But here's the real twist, the one nobody talks about in financial disaster stories. I'm grateful it happened. Share this video if you want to hear why, because this is where the story actually gets interesting. 6 months after returning all the money, I'm still broke. Still teaching. Still in my mom's basement. But something's different. I'm not fantasizing about winning the lottery anymore. I'm not checking my bank account hoping for miracles. I'm present. I'm here. I'm dealing with my actual life instead of waiting to escape it. I start a budget. A real one. I track every dollar. I pick up extra teaching gigs. I tutor kids in math after school for $40 an hour. I'm making maybe $3,200 a month total, and $500 goes to my mom, and the rest goes to bills and student loans and rebuilding. 1 year after the bank error, I have $4,800 in savings. That's it. $4,800. A year ago, I had access to almost $1 million. Now I have less than $5,000, and I'm happier. Not because I'm enlightened or healed or better than I was, but because this money is mine. I earned it. Nobody can take it. No phone call will destroy it. I pay my mom back in full after 3 years. $73,000 in monthly payments. The day I make the final transfer, she takes me to dinner at Applebee's, her favorite restaurant, and tells me she's proud of me. Not for paying her back. For not giving up. Alexis texts me out of nowhere 2 years after the breakup. She's getting married. She wants to apologize for how things ended. We meet for coffee, and she tells me she's been following my social media. She says, "You seem happy." I am. Not every day. Not all the time. But yeah, I'm happy. The YouTube algorithm loves transformation stories, so here's mine. I'm 34 now. I'm still a substitute teacher, but I'm also getting my master's in education administration. I'm on track to become a vice principal next year. I have $28,000 saved. I drive a 2015 Honda Accord I bought for $9,000 cash. I live in a one-bedroom apartment that costs $1,150 a month. I haven't been on a vacation since Greece, and I'm more myself than I've ever been. If you watched this whole video, thank you. Hit subscribe if you want more real stories about money, mistakes, and what happens when we're brave enough to tell the truth. Drop a comment telling me the worst financial decision you ever made. I promise I won't judge. I've been there. I lived in the wreckage. The bank error didn't make me a millionaire. It showed me I was already rich. I just couldn't see it yet. And that's worth more than any accidental deposit could ever be. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.